Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Marva Dolphin, your spiritual growth and transformation coach. And I help women to unblock and walk in clarity into their purpose. They're unblocking all of the energy that is keeping them from accomplishing their purpose. Energies like the inner child pain, those hurts that are keeping them dormant from activating themselves and moving forward. Energies of misdirection or needing clarity to go to the next level. So that is what I do. I help people to go in transformation and also in spirit. Whatever the spirit desires, I am here to guide that individual in that purpose. So it is so good to be with you here this morning. And I am talking about why should a decree be made? Why should a decree be made? Years ago, thousands of years ago, decrees were written by kings, and these decrees were for the person, the people. And that decree was the law. And so in biblical knowledge, it says to write the decree and make it plain. And Job said, write that decree and it shall be established. Why is that? Why shall it be established? Why should I declare it? It's essential for us to declare what we desire because our minds could change 100 times over. And so I could think of something that I want. Good morning, Susan. How are you? We're talking about why should a decree be made? And so I could think about 100 things or more per day in my mind, or 1,000 or more per day in my mind. And then at the end of the day, I would say, I don't want to do that anymore. But if I'm certain that this is something that I get to establish, I would write it down. So that's the decree, making that vision plain so it shall be established. Because our minds could change 100 times over in a given day. But if I'm certain that my source, God, that I'm connected to, has given me a direction to join him to build the kingdom, then I write it down and make it plain and then work on it. I then go to God and ask God, well, what is this all about? How is it I'm going to establish it? How is it I'm going to join you? What do I need? Who do I need? Who do I need to pull together to get this accomplished? Right? So you're asking the source all of the things that you need to accomplish the decree, the download that you just received. And oftentimes we would get a download and then we go off on our own trying to establish it. And then we're like, okay, I'm stuck. Then you have to go back to the source. So go back to the source, go back to God who gave you that divine download and say, God, what do you require of me to establish what you just showed me or what you just gave me? How is it going to be established? Yes, order my steps. Order my steps, Lord. How is it going to be established? How are my steps going to be established in this new light? And that is very, very important that we will establish what is given to us in the spirit, that we will then write it down on paper and begin to pray over it, begin to meditate over it, and then begin to establish it out because it is greater than the resources that we currently have in front of our faces. When God gives us something huge or what may seem, a download little, it's big, it's grand, it's dynamic, and it requires a great resource. But God knows that. And so he would tell you where to go to get the resources to establish the plan in the kingdom. It's very, very important. So why should a decree be made? A decree should be made because it gets to be established. It doesn't go away like just another thought. It becomes life. When you establish it, it becomes life. A decree becomes life when it's established, when it's written down, when it's meditated on, when it's prayed upon, when it's shared with someone else. Yes, it gives us the opportunity to put it in front of the right people for life. Yes. And also, this decree belongs to other people, right? So you may receive something, but it's not only for you. It is for a community. It is for a country. It is for the world, right? And that's how huge it is. That's why it has to be established and written down and digested, right? Very, very important, because it belongs to more than one person. You're the recipient of it, but you now have to deliver it to others. So that is why it's important for us to write the decree and make it plain. And so today I want to leave some faith declarations for those decrees that you may have, those visions that you may have, the dreams that you may have. I am going to leave you some faith declarations that you could proclaim from your mouth to get these things established. And I found it this morning in a prayer book by John Eckhart. It says prayers that release heaven and move mountains. This one. It's a very powerful one. I've been going through prayer books and leaving them in the prayer group. If you're not a part of that group, it's a Million Women in Prayer. Sign up for that one. Join us, and great prayers are being done in that group. So this one says faith declarations. It says, I do not put my trust in man. I do not put my trust in flesh. I put my trust in God. So when we receive this declaration, we're declaring that, God, I am putting my trust in you. I'm not putting my trust in the people around me, but those of you, or those who you tell me to trust, I certainly will do that. I'm not going to put the trust in myself, because if I don't establish this, it will be no big deal to me. But it's very important to you, and I get to establish it because of you. So I am trusting in you, God, to establish this, because you know the importance of it. Sometimes we don't want to establish something because we don't think it's good enough. Or we don't see the greater good in which what we're going to establish is going to accomplish. But God sees it. And that is why he says all things is going to work out for a good. So it's not little, it's not big, but knowing that it will work out for a good. So this decree is very powerful. This other declaration says, I thank you, Lord, that I am responsible for making my own way prosperous and having good success. And so because God trusted me to do, I am going to establish it prosperously, right? I thank you, Lord. And then you give thanks. I thank you, Lord, that I am responsible for making my own way prosperous and having good success. My own way, because God is my source. It's not that I'm doing it on my own. So that's why I am thanking God, right? I am thanking God that he is able to make my own way prosperous, right? So that I could have good success. And lastly, thank you, Lord, for prosperity. I will flourish because I live in the days of the Messiah. This decree says, thank you, Lord, for prosperity. I will flourish because I live in the days of the Messiah. And you should proclaim that today. Thank you, Lord, for prosperity. I will flourish because I live in the days of the Messiah. I don't live in the days of law. I live in the days of the Messiah. I have a direct, source. I have a direct connection to the source, right? God, Jesus Christ. I have that direct connection. And because I have that direct connection, prosperity is in my midst, and it shall be established, because he owns everything, right? Omnipotent God, all-powerful God, omnipresent God, ever-present, everywhere, omniscient, all-knowing. Who knows the right way but God? And so I am grateful to be aligned with the Messiah, right? Not with the law of the age. It's a good time to be in, because I now, in this time, don't have to go through anybody else, because I have a direct connection to the Messiah. And because I am an ear to that connection, everything shall be established. Prosperity is in my midst. I don't have to live in poverty, because the Messiah is rich in everything. And I am an ear to the riches of the Messiah. And so once that gets into our spirit, and we have that energy to move, that frequency, that vibration to move in the spirit and operate in the spirit, and have the clarity to move, whatever we desire to establish, it shall be established. It shall be so, because the light is now flowing on it, right? The light that's coming through us is flowing on our endeavors. And that is why it's very important when we receive, we say, thank you, I got it. Now, direct me in the way that I need to go. So I know that the energy is not coming by my own accord, but the energy is coming from a greater source, God, through me upon this thing, so it could move in the right direction. So that's all that I have for you today. Why should a decree be made? So that light, the source, light, will come upon it for it to be established. Because now when I'm open to the source, the light, everything will flow in that direction. And any block that I may have had, it's now gone. Anything that is trying to block this from succeeding, gone. Because I have declared it, I have written it down, I have digested it into my system over and over again. I have prayed about it, I have meditated on it, and I have asked the Lord for the instruction to establish it. And so it shall be so, because the light is now shining upon it. All right, guys, that's it in a nutshell. Until next week, have a marvelous day. For my replay viewers, I am here every Wednesday at 8:30. Take care and God bless you all. I am Marva Dolphin, your spiritual growth and transformation coach, and it is time to live, love, laugh, and launch in 2021. Take care and God bless you all.